Jake had hiked this forest trail every summer for the past 5 years. He knew the bends and clearings like the back of his hand, which was why the cabin stopped him cold. It sat just off the path, its slanted roof sagging under years of moss, windows clouded with grime. The others, Marcy, Theo, and Lila, swore they'd never seen it before either. No one mentioned that the forest was unusually still, as if it were holding its breath. Curiosity outweighed caution, and they pushed through the weeds to the porch. The door creaked open with barely a touch, revealing a single-room interior coated in thick dust. In the middle of it all sat a small wooden table, and on it, a pot of tea, steam curling gently toward the ceiling. The steam from the pot looked almost unreal against the otherwise abandoned interior. Dust coated every surface except for the table, where 4 mismatched teacups sat neatly beside the pot, each filled to the brim. "Someone must live here," Theo murmured, though his voice lacked conviction. Marcy ran a finger along a shelf, came away gray with decades of neglect. Lila pointed toward the far wall. There, arranged in a crooked line, were photographs tacked to the wood. Jake stepped closer, heart tightening. They were pictures of the 4 of them, not from years ago, but from earlier that day. When one, he was mid-laugh by the trailhead. In another, Marcy was tying her shoe. Each photo was taken from outside the cabin, as if the photographer had been watching them long before they arrived. A sudden click echoed through the cabin, sharp and deliberate. Jake spun toward the sound, but the others were staring past him, to a shadow moving just outside the nearest window. Another click, this time closer. The photos on the wall fluttered in a breeze that seemed to come from nowhere. "We should go," Lila whispered, but her voice felt swallowed by the silence pressing in. Jake's eyes darted to the table. The steam from the tea twisted higher, as if stirred by unseen hands. Through the grimy glass, a shape loomed tall, still holding something that gleamed in the fading light. It lifted the object slowly, almost reverently. The familiar snap of a camera shutter filled the room again, and Jake realized with a sick lurch that the newest photograph would include all 4 of them standing inside. Jake bolted for the door, but it slammed shut before he reached it, the impact rattling the teacups. Marcy yanked at the handle. It didn't budge. Outside, footsteps crunched slowly through the leaves, circling the cabin. Another click, then the faint rustle of paper. The photographs on the wall had changed, their newest image now pinned among the others, showing the 4 of them frozen mid-panic inside the room. Jake's skin went cold. The footsteps stopped directly outside the door. Silence stretched, so heavy it roared in his ears. Then, without warning, the tea stopped steaming. In the next heartbeat, the cups were empty. The door eased open by itself, revealing nothing but the dark forest beyond.
Ow.
The trail was gone. Only the cabin remained, waiting, as if it had never been anywhere else but here.